Welcome to the Strength Matters podcast. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe and review when you have a few minutes to spare. We really appreciate all your comments and feedback. With me, as always, hanging around like one of those smells you can't get rid of, is my co-host, James Breese. James, how are you doing?
Smelling. Badly.
See, yeah, exactly. I thought I'd not be too nice to you this time. I've been far too nice to you on introductions recently, calling you a TikTok star and everything. So I thought I'd insult you this time. How about
Thanks. Appreciate
it? But I'm definitely not going to insult our guest because he is a lovely, lovely man whose hair is looking great. That's an inside joke. He is. He's worked in the health and fitness industry for over 20 years now, managing health clubs, golf clubs, and now as a personal trainer based in East Dulwich in London. He's a passion for long-distance swimming, has completed numerous races, including a relay channel swim. He became a parent at 40 and loves to help other parents get the most from their bodies, their lives, to live better and longer. It's a pleasure to have Simon Bradbrook on the podcast. Simon, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. You missed out on United.
No. I was about to say thank you for reminding me. I wasn't. I've got to put up with two Man United fans on the podcast today. Two of them.
More importantly, Josh, you got to ask him his 1999 story.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. Before we get into it, before I ask you about, we get into the meat of this.
More important thing.
Tell me your 1999 story.
Exactly.
One of the greatest nights of my life, really. Yeah, I was in the crowd in the new camp when we beat.
Wow.
Bayern Munich, in the final to win the treble.
Yeah.
So I was there behind the goal, going mental when Solskjaer put that goal in. So it was awesome.
That must have been.
It was
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So it's a good story to tell. If we lost, I'd tell no one. So as we won, I'll tell everyone. Very happy to tell the story. Yeah.
I will never have any stories like that to share.
No,
as an
probably not.
So there
Simon, who are you there?
Oh
with?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I spent the whole day with Peter Gabriel. Yeah, so my dad works in the industry. Yeah, and it just so happened that the lawyer who came with us was Peter Gabriel's lawyer, and he invited Peter Gabriel. So we had a whole day, like going around Barcelona, going to like lunch with the mayor, all sorts.
God.
Celebrities, and then after the game we had like a 10-hour delay because there's two airports to get us back to the UK. So I was just in the airport, for like 10 hours with Peter Gabriel afterwards. So it was mental, absolutely mental, but awesome.
That's brilliant. I can't believe you almost missed out the fact that you hung out with Peter Gabriel all day.
Well, I didn't a name drop all the time. But that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I'm a big fan of Peter Gabriel as well. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. That is very cool. I remember watching that game on telly, and as much as I despise Man United, I didn't actually want them to win. So there you go.
My friends are the same.
James, did I ever tell you? I've told you about the time you were watching in your bedroom.
Yeah, that's what I was.
How old?
Doing my essay.
Were you doing your GCS?
No, A levels. I was doing my A level final exams. I had to write a paper for English as part of my exam, which I was like trying desperately to do whilst watching the football, which didn't go down too well, and I was late submitting it to the next day.
Yeah, brilliant, nice one. Did I ever tell you about the time I got thrown out of Man United one Christmas? Have I told you that story, James?
You've told me, but let's tell it on air, though. I know the story, but tell Simon.
Yeah, so my sister and brother-in-law, they won some tickets on a raffle at the school to go and watch an Everton game of your choice, or I think it was, and they chose the Man United game, and we thought they were corporate tickets. So me, my dad, and my brother-in-law all went, thinking we would either be in with the Evertonians or it was corporate, because obviously you wouldn't put 3 Evertonians in with the Man United fans, would you? However, we got there and we were in with the Man United fans, and I felt sick immediately walking up to the ground. None of us were wearing anything blue, by the way. We didn't have any Everton paraphernalia on. But we sat down and I just said to my dad and my brother-in-law, if we score, do not celebrate. we went 1-0 down in quite early on, I think, from Giggs, either Giggs or Ronaldo, I think it was. And then in the 11th minute, Tim Cahill equalised with a glorious header. And of course, my dad and brother-in-law immediately stood up and started celebrating. And that's when the trouble started, because people were literally climbing over the seats to get to us. And we had to be, we were removed from the ground by the stewards. The tickets were confiscated. We went back to the car park to go home, but we were blocked in because there was like one of those car parks where, you're all in rows, and we couldn't get out the car park, so I had to sit there for the rest of the game, which we lost in the 85th minute to actually, no, that might have been Giggs. So we lost in about the 85th minute and had to sit there in the car just listening to it and then drive home miserable. What a great day.
Wow. I'm surprised they chucked you out. I'm not sure. Maybe you're much too enthusiastic in your cheering, perhaps. Maybe you started all the trouble. That's what I reckon it was.
We were going to be killed if we'd not been taken out.
Yeah, you would have been. You would have been.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, there we go. There's a story. We should probably get. I love the mug, by the way.
Yeah.
This is on YouTube. Everyone, I've got my Le Creuset going on. I'm not representing. Neither is James. What have you got?
I just got a sip of glass of water. Squash.
I thought you had your R2D2.
I did, but I finished it already.
Simon's got his Strength Matters mug, which you can get if you join the HCP program. There you go. There's.
Do I get another one?
Subtle hint.
There you go. Just drop that in there.
Yeah.
So obviously we're here to talk about a little bit about Simon and his background, but also about the hybrid coaching program which he has done recently on a weekend in Essex, and is part of the ongoing program which we are furiously building at the moment.
Exactly.
Furiously. Before we do that though, Simon, tell me a little bit more about this relay channel swim. How many laps did you have to do?
No, it's not one.
Was it just one?
There was not laps. No, it's just there's a team of us that you start in the UK, and then you basically get to France. Yeah, and you take it in turns to swim as you go. So, 13.
How far did you have to do?
13 hours it took us. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. The backstory is a friend of mine broke his back and couldn't really do much else apart from swimming, really. Obviously, swimming's really good for rehabbing. And I'm a swimmer, and we just basically said, okay, let's just start doing some swimming training, getting into a few little bits, did a little triathlon, and he said, well, let's do something bigger. And it led to finding this channel swim relay team. And then, we entered, trained for that, and then that was kind of the reason we did it, and then we finished it. It was amazing. So the hardest bit's the training. You got to train down in Dover and do like 2-hour swims in like in the port of Dover to qualify as a channel swimmer, and you got to do it in just trunks. That's it. No, nothing.
No, not even in a wetsuit.
On, get in, and you've got to spend 2 hours. You've got to spend 2 hours in the water, and it's about I think it was March or April time, and the water's like 10 degrees. Really,
it's the coldest,
cold. And 2 hours just doing just pottering around in water is not, and it's in the Thames as well. Yeah,
word.
Not in the channel.
Oh yeah. Oh.
And then,
were you sick for weeks?
I was sick during the swim. I threw up about 3 times. Yeah, on my last swim. Yeah, so we started at 4 a.m, pitch black, just a little light on my back and a boat in the swim. So yeah, it was epic, absolutely epic. I loved it, absolutely loved it. So
that is. No, that's amazing. I don't think I could. I'm not a big fan of swimming in the sea. You never know what's underneath. I don't like it. I certainly couldn't. I certainly could not swim in the sea in the dark. That would scare the living daylights out of me.
You can't see anything. It's just dark. So
Right.
But it's when it's a bit lighter and you actually see where you are, and the channel's not nice. Yeah, and there's massive boats and stuff. You're like, okay, this is a bit different to your normal pool swim.
Yeah, ferries going past you and stuff. My God.
So yeah, but it's cool, really cool.
Wow. Definitely. Eventually, is that the toughest race you've done?
I suppose it was for the length of it, because although you're not swimming, I wasn't swimming 13 hours. Just to be on the boat and then to get in, have to get out, get in again, and it's starting at 3 a.m. It's pretty just taxing in terms of long. Yeah, so it's pretty hard. So probably, in terms of that event, I've done longer swims just on my own, but they've been in sort of nicer weather, sunny days, like 4-hour swims, that sort of thing. Down the Thames, Henley to Marlow. That's a 14-kilometre swim that I'm doing this year. So it takes about 3.5 hours. Yeah, but it's nice. You know.
Oh wow!
It's not.
I don't know if I could ever describe swimming in the Thames as nice.
Whenever I tell anyone like it's in the Thames, initially they're like, "Oh my god!" They think of like Tower Bridge or like something like that. Whereas
that's what I think
horrendous. Of. But Marlow and Henley, like that part of the river is an absolute breeze. Like, it's like lined by like millionaires' houses and like grand designs.
Lovely.
It's beautiful. Absolutely, yeah. So, it's not as bad as it sounds,
it's
really.
A bit calmer there, I guess, as well.
Yeah, come and do it. Come and join
nice. I'll take a rain check on that one.
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm doing my hair that day.
Fair enough. Each their own.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Let's dive into the meat of this little podcast. Could you just tell the listeners a little bit more about your background, how you got into the health and fitness industry, how you ended up managing health and fitness clubs and the golf clubs, and then how you went on to then become a trainer?
I suppose like it was all I kind of really enjoyed when I was a kid, like playing sports, PE, like, you know, English and PE were the two things I enjoyed. So it was always made sense for me to go into that industry. And then I do remember actually when I finished school, it was like, and I was looking at getting jobs like leisure management or leisure like sports studies jobs. And the route of like either going PT route or you can go like manager route. Yeah. And it was almost like the manager route was like where the money was, the sales route, get the money, that sort of thing. So I kind of went the management route. So I went into management. I was in health clubs for sales. Then I went into like managing health clubs, golf clubs, and eventually like a regional manager for a smaller franchise. And then after a while, to be honest, I got sick and tired of the management side of it and just realised that it's not my passion. I don't really like get as much value out of it at all, really. Like when you're a general manager, that sort of thing, a lot of it is you are just generally adminning things, which is not like that much like enjoyable. And it never felt like, although I was striving to get higher and higher, it just got worse and worse. And the PT side, the coaching side of things is always where I've sort of valued myself more. And then I realised that in terms of, you know, being self-employed and also like financially, you can earn more money anyway as a PT than a general manager. So I just had enough of it. So I just went full PT basically after that. And you know, I'm grateful for the management side of things. It's really useful to have all that management and business sort of knowledge. But the benefit, you know, of what I get from coaching is just tenfold compared to what I got from managing a club and that sort of thing.
Had you done your qualifications, or did you have to retrain at that point once you decided to make the switch?
I'd done the qualification, yeah. So I didn't have to sort of retrain, but I suppose I was never really like actively learning more as I had the qualification, but I wasn't like now like my job, and I'm always researching and, you know, into different things. But I was just kind of, I had the qualification, but not really learning much. So we all know a standard qualification is not a huge, it's a benefit, but it's not when you learn everything. So
I'd say it's interesting what you say about the fact that you're doing the management and doing in the corporate side of things, but your passion was like coaching, teaching. I can relate to that because there's a big part when I was working here at Strength Matters where I take myself off the shop floor completely. I wasn't training people. I wasn't working with people. Like, I was like doing all this corporate management type stuff, and I was like, that's not why I got in here in the first place. Like, I wanted to get into if I'm being selfish, train myself and learn everything and apply it to myself, and then B was actually to help people and share this knowledge and information with people too. So that's a big thing for me. Was like as I was rejigging Strength Matters and moving back in, it's like, well, how can I still be involved helping people and like still not just with the stuff online, but actually in person too? Because I thrive in working in group environments, and that's my biggest passion. It's less of the one I enjoy. I can do one-on-one stuff, but I thrive in working in big groups and holding them together and putting them through paces and stuff like that. So that's a big part that was missing, and it's why we've done what we've done now in Strength Matters.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say we both love coaching coaches as well, coaching trainers. And that's part of the reason why we've, you know, created the hybrid coaching program, because we love working with trainers so much as well. As well as just
I've always like Strength Matters. When I first got PT qualified, like just doing like the PT side of things, I don't know how I found Strength Matters, but it was very much what I kind of based what I was my model on a little bit in terms of like the knowledge and the assessments and that sort of stuff, but never really knew the ins and outs of it. So like finally I'm sort of part of it now, and it's like it's been great to learn more of the systems, understand it, so I can apply it much better, because you can see it from afar, but really applying it is it's been great. So it's been it's been really good to actually be part of it a bit more.
What was the thing from because a lot of people read about it and they do it. What was the thing that made you go, oh my god, there's more to this than meets the eye? What was the thing that made you go, oh wow, there's something a bit different to this afterwards? Because a lot of people read our stuff and like take it in and stuff and say, yeah, we know what we're doing, but like how different was it when you start to see more of the stuff behind the scenes?
I suppose how different is it now, or how different is it to when I first found it? You mean, or what I thought?
No, from seeing it now, because you've got like we've given you essentially full access now, haven't we? So you're seeing what's going on. But what was the difference? You can point and go, wow, okay, there's more to this than meets the eye type of moment. What was the thing that you thought from either learning or differently that made you go, wow, there's more to this?
Well, initially I think it was the systems, the assessments that I first found, and that was like. I hadn't seen it. You don't really see that as part of like the industry. You never see assessments as like a main focus for then how you can take people, improve people's performance, longevity, those sort of things. All you see is like a workout plan or an exercise plan, and that's it, and lots of stuff. So I think initially it was the assessments and the idea that you could assess where you are, see your weaknesses, see your strengths, and then improve to become. And the next layer and the next layer on that. So then you always see that progress. That was what I loved. And I guess it's data, isn't it? A little bit of data. I'd like to assess, like to sort of really know where I stand, where I'm at. So that's what I was really obsessed with when I first found it. And I guess it's more athletic based rather than just trying to look good, because it's more health based, longevity, that sort of thing, rather than just building muscle, which is part of it, but there's more to exercise, there's more to training than just that. Basically, what I attracted towards it, and also kettlebells as well. I'm a big kettlebell fan, so I think some of the stuff was more kettlebell based than in the past. So that's kind of what I liked about it.
Nice, cool.
Yeah, we were very much went down the kettlebell rabbit hole, both of us, many years ago. That's kind of how it all started, wasn't it? And don't regret that. We still love kettlebells, still a great tool. But I like what you said about, it's not just about how you look in the mirror, not just about developing those mirror muscles, being bros and all that. We very much focus on health and longevity and. Well, yeah, of course we do. We all want to look good naked, but it's, health first, as we always say. Without you haven't got health, you got nothing. What are the sort of, since following us and starting on HCP, has the people you train, your client avatar changed at all?
I guess the older I've got, the more your avatar changes a little bit, because you very much sort of, and I feel like you kind of train the people you were a few years ago, sort of thing. So, I think. I had a kid when I was 40, so having kids at 40 and how more things are important to me than just exercise and training, in terms of like to being a better parent, to be able to stay healthy, to exercise, to not be injured, to be pain-free, just for my life became a lot more apparent. Than just going to the gym and managing that, and how you manage stress and how you manage your nutrition, and how you try and prioritize sleep, even though it's impossible.
It's completely impossible when you've got kids. James, you wouldn't know this.
No,
you and your 9 hours sleep or whatever you get.
So I guess that's where it's changed. That suddenly it's like, okay, there's so much more to. There's much more struggles. There's more to exercise, to training, and to avoiding injury. Because if I get injured and stuff, can't do things with my kids, then that's a massive impact on my life. Whereas beforehand, it wouldn't have mattered too much. So my avatar now is kind of me. Parents who've turned 40, had kids. Suddenly they're like, geez, I'm 40, I've got kids, I've got to move more. You've got to push a bike. My boy's learning to ride a bike, and geez, my back is in agony trying to like push him down the road, you know. And I'm like, but I'm physically fit enough to do it, which is I'm grateful for. I can do that.
Yeah.
And funny thing happened last week was that I took him to the park, and I was pushing him in the swings, and it's in this big like net swing, and he just fell asleep. He just fell asleep in this swing, and I was like, you awake? And he was just fast asleep in a swing, this big swing.
That's so weird that you say that, because I was going to ask you, does he love a swing? Because Henry, he'll just sit on a swing for probably sit on a swing for an hour. If I was prepared to push him for that long.
On his back, and he was like this, and he was like getting really comfy. And I was like, just fell asleep. And then when he woke up, he was like tired, and he wouldn't walk back to the house. There was no chance of him walking. So I had to carry him in one hand. He was like 22 kgs. So it was one hand here, and I had his bike in the other hand. And his bike's like, I don't know, 12, 15, bloody heavier than I thought it was. And it's about a 15-minute walk from the park. So I was literally like rack carry, like suitcase carry for like 15 minutes. I was there. And then I'd change him to one side, then the other side. And I'm like, I'm trained for this. This is what I'm training for. So
this is what train for life. Train for life.
Minutes.
Exactly.
Hardest workout of my life. But it was like
that's James. That's the alternative cook drill. That one.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
That's what it was like. It was very much like, but I can do that, and I'm grateful that I can do those things. And I don't think many people would, wouldn't be able to do it, and that's kind of nice to know I can.
Yeah. No, it certainly comes in handy when you've been doing lots of carries and stuff, when you've got to pick your kids up and carry them long distances, or put, on your shoulders and push your pram at the same time, and all joyous things like that. Yeah. it's all good stuff.
At the same time, tying into what you say, how your client have to have changes, and so it should do, because your priorities change and everything changes. You want to attract like-minded people who you can empathise, sympathise with along the way. And that's a really important thing. A lot of people try and be a trainer for everybody, but end up being a trainer for nobody, which ends up being a bit of a nightmare, because you have people with different values and beliefs potentially sometimes that don't really understand each other, and there's a bit of a clashing of minds or something. And that shouldn't be the case. Training should be simple and easy. It should be, people should be coming to you that you enjoy working with them, and they enjoy working with you, and you share like-minded values. Whether it's parents, whether it's us. For me, with example at cricket, that's a really good example on a sport-specific level. But you should always find people like that. So it's really cool how you've identified it's changed over the years. And that's something maybe that shall long continue.
Yeah,
potentially.
I do think you're completely right about that. There's people I train now. I've got really good clients who have been with me for years. Some of them, and they're all people that I love to work with. That we have similar beliefs. We're either parents or something. There's always something same sort of similar sort of age, and it makes your job so much more enjoyable. Whereas I do work in a box gym. So I do get everyone in terms of that comes to me, and I've had a few clients who are just in the example that they've been like 19, 20, 21, that sort of age, and it just doesn't work. It just hasn't really worked for me in a way that they don't see what I see and why they should be training. They just see a different world. So plus I have no idea what music they're into or anything. So
I have that at times, honestly, so I'm cricket on a Saturday now, we get the music on, I get blasted by anybody if I choose any of my music that I like, so I gotta let the kids choose their songs in the changing room, otherwise I have no idea what the half of it is. It's ridiculous. It's so true. There is that disparity. That doesn't mean they're bad people, it just means they're at a different time in their life. We were probably the same back in the day. It was, it's exactly the same, but we can now see it, and we're just going to let them be and let them do what they want to do. And like I said, from what I see I train at JD Gym here in Cardiff, and what I see most of the day when I go in there, I see people taking selfies. I see literally women wearing hardly anything with their pants up to their armpits. Showing everything off, posing with each other and videoing each other, which is, by the way, some of the stuff they video is great. They're showing each other doing pull-ups, deadlifting, that's awesome. But it's when I go into this is what gets me, is when I go into the changing rooms, the male changing rooms, let me just caveat this, right? When I go into the male changing rooms, right, and I'm watching a queue of boys all taking selfies in the mirror, pretending to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, and like taking selfies with each other. I'm just like, it just blows my mind. Because if that happened back in my day, you'd have been kicked out of the gym, or like if you'd have been like completely ridiculed for years. But it's just how culture is, and just how life has changed. It's just normal for people to do that.
It is, isn't it? That bit's not necessarily changed for the better. Social media and phones and stuff have brought us all closer together, but that's shit, man. No.
Yeah, well,
By the way, going back to music, I'm not sure my mum and dad would have also appreciated Iron Maiden, Nirvana, and Pearl Jam either.
The worst part about it was when they look at you in a way that, like, I'm an old man. You know, you're like, I'm not old.
Yeah.
I'm a thriving 43-year-old guy. You know, like, in their head, they're like, old man. Like, and I didn't like that. I don't want to, most of my clients look at me now who are my clients. Mate, like, he's in great shape. He's a PT. He's 43. They kind of aspire to be me a little bit, not the other way around.
Yeah,
he's an old man to my 20-year-old clients.
Yep, exactly. And then I take great pleasure, most of the guys in cricket doing this, and I say I'm faster than them and fitter than them, and they go, "Oh man, excuse me, what?" Like that. That's my phrase, and going back to them now all the time. But it's quite nice. I like the competitive element of it, and making sure you stay healthy and young to keep going forward. I think so. Yeah, those 18, 19, they have their place. Those kids have a place to make us feel younger and like make sure we keep up with them as long as we possibly can. Right.
All that battery.
Exactly.
The battery's it's fine for now, but it's just the cable's coming out. So apologies.
Oh no.
Oh, that's right.
Technical phone issues. We better crack on then, haven't we? And talk a little bit about the hybrid coaching program, because you are on the HCP. You joined us in Essex a few weeks back for a lovely weekend. Did you have, or what were your sort of expectations of that before the weekend?
Expectations.
Sorry that James let you down.
I don't know about expectations really, obviously, because it's just started out, isn't it, the HCP? So it's not as if it's like, if it was like a fully built course at the moment and it was all kind of like you're signing up for it all. I knew it wasn't that. I knew it was kind of like an introduction to it. So for me, it was just to kind of understand more about the assessment side of it and where it's going to take. And a big part of it actually was to meet people in the community who are also doing the HCP, because people that are doing it, it's like-minded people and some fascinating people, a really amazing bunch of people that are doing the course. So that was amazing to kind of meet everyone like that. So, but my expectations, just to give me some structure, I guess, of where I'm going to be taking my business, because I do only I do in-person PT, not really any on the line. So this hybrid coach philosophy, is exactly where I wanted to go, and how I can take what I do online and have systems in place that I can then do the same thing with my in-person and my online clients is great. And that's kind of what I'm just hoping to find as much about that as possible on the weekend. To then set me up, which has been. It's been a good sort of start, and nice to meet everyone on the course as well.
Right, cool. What was the? Go on, Josh. There you go, Josh. You go.
No, I was just going to say, what was your biggest takeaway from the weekend? I don't know whether you were going to say the same.
Same
thing.
I think
it was the assessments. I mean, we did a lot of assessment work, so that was kind of like the big thing. I guess that's the big thing that I really wanted to kind of delve into a bit more. So having the assessments guide you to where you take your clients or where they start from, and kind of to empower those clients to know sort of where they are and where they can get to was a big part of it. But also just that was a big part. That was a big part of it. Just knowing the systems, because it all starts with systems, and if you've got a good system, then from there you can it makes your life a lot easier. And then in terms of how you promote yourself online, how you start building that journey, finding your niche, finding your avatars, that I know is a big part of the business. And it was good that it was kind of started with that, because I think if you can nail that down, then everything else comes a lot easier after that. So I think it's great that it's kind of really focused my attention to what my niche is going to be when I'm more online based, and I have those assessments in place that any client who comes to me, I can have confidence in what I deliver to make sure that they are on the right path and they can kind of progress and see themselves, on that journey as well.
Yeah. It's interesting you say the avatar side of things, because like I've done a lot of half my books in the shelf there, loads of marketing things, like quite literally, and I've done a lot about it and understood the importance of it. But there's always this problem of how do you articulate it, and I think the more I speak to coaches and trainers, is they're really good at what they do. Most of them anyway that we speak to, right? I know there's some bad people in every industry, no matter what you do. But the point is, most of the guys we speak to, they're really good, but most people don't get what they do and why they do what they do. Mostly because of the confusion of just this aesthetics stuff that you see online. Whereas us underground are more health practitioners more than anything. It's what we care about, their deep health more than anything, and it's trying to like help people understand that. But we find it difficult to articulate that message across, because it's a message that most people aren't ready to hear or aren't expecting to hear yet. So it's for me now, it's key to make sure that to be seen and heard, you've got to make sure that you know who you're talking to, that you're relatable to that market, but also you can articulate it in the way that they will understand. And that's the big thing, because marketing is about message creation, the idea of what you're trying to create, who you're trying to target, but then it's amplification. Whereas most people don't know what their message is, and then they try and amplify it, and they go, well, why isn't it working? Why is nobody coming to buy me? Why is Joe Bloggs getting all the clients down the road when he's crap? Like, it's that type of thing. And I'm sure most of us, I've done the same things. Like, I got this amazing product and service. No one wants to buy it. Why? But then they go into this guy down the road. Well, it's simply because he articulates his message better than other people. Whether it's physically, just by looks, whatever it is. But that's how it goes.
They do loads of Instagram stuff and like show their bodies off, and they post every day, and therefore they do get like that. Whereas I think from our side of things, it's not as sexy, is it, the health side of things? So it's harder to it's harder to make that more engaging, and like rather than just getting your top off, which so it's a harder sell. It really is.
Everyone wants to see.
It is. Yeah. Health is very much hard. So I keep telling James he needs to put a bikini on and get on Instagram, but it's...
I know. Sorry. Next year, I promise.
Or a mankini.
Yeah.
Oh dear, we did indeed put you through some of the assessments while we were on the weekend. What did you find
from the
a challenge, Simon?
Well, I know I can't balance.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I could never. Like when you ride a bike and you take your hands off the wheel, and like you see these guys now just pedal around with their hands like this. I'm like, I literally just always fall off. So I know my balance is bad. So that was one which I found tough, and I struggled on the breathing one, which was a bit of a surprise. My breath wasn't great. Maybe I was just a little bit sort of like nervous, I think. But it made me realise about breathing, and I've been doing more breathing drills since then. So, but exactly, I
pretty
can
important
breathe.
as a swimmer.
I'm pretty good. I'm not like that, when I breathe. I'm pretty good at it. So, I guess you don't necessarily tune into it as much when you're in daily life and sort of holding your breath, doing breath tests, to try to see what your capacity is like. It is more just, I've got regular breathing, but it's not like it's a skill that I've sort of practiced. So, and they're two of the big ones, aren't they? Really, balance and breath.
Definitely. Has your breathing improved? Have you been getting better?
I've been doing that. So, and cycling to work. Like I cycle to work, and it's just up a massive hill, straight away uphill. So I've been trying to nasal breathe from that, and it was brutal to start off with, but it's definitely getting easier, and it's you can train it. And like anything, it's a new skill, I guess, for me. I love learning new skills, and it's been it's been really interesting to do that. And I've done the test, and it has my breath test has improved a lot. So you can make a big difference if you really kind of go after it. So I'm getting there. I'm improving.
Yeah. Nice.
Fantastic. What have you implemented so far since the weekend into your business? Besides, obviously, yourself doing breathing and a bit of balance
so I have,
with your clients in particular.
I think most of my clients now have gone through the assessments, and I do have a mixture of ages of clients who are weight loss clients, clients who are more athletic based. So I've kind of taken them all through I've got some very older clients as well who, over 70, that sort of thing. So it's been really interesting to see how the results correlate as to if there's things that everyone suffers from, or if there's things that others, and it's been quite surprising. Some have got a great balance, yet that really poor other things. And So all my clients have done it. Most of them have hip issues. Generally, they can't really move their hips very well. The ones who could are generally much better at squatting than the other ones, that sort of thing. So it's kind of like made a bit of sense. And then balance was a big issue for a lot of them still. And that's not a surprise, I guess, because they don't really train their balance that much. So, and everyone suffered on an air bike for 10 minutes. That was, so they all hate me for that. But it was a good test, because it really showed that, like, two of my clients who are more athletic based, they did okay. They scored, not really brilliantly, but they scored okay. Yeah. Other ones who don't do any of that sort of, like, they really suffered, and they found it really hard. And from the first minute, you were like, you just haven't got the capacity, the power to get any sort of pace out of the bike. And push yourself hard enough to, like, really get out of breath. Yeah. You feel like, you say it's a max test, and they get off the bike and they're like, oh, that was all right. Well, that was quite tough. And you're like, well, if you see me do it, it's a lot harder than that. Do you know what I mean? So, that's been really insightful. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's been
what's
great.
been the feedback from your clients so far?
That's the good thing about it for me, is that all my clients want to get there. They want to see the score. They want to know where they are. You don't want to upset them when and they're always like, it's really good, it's really bad. You're like, no, it's not about good and bad. It's just knowing where your starting point is, and we can assess that and improve on that. That's the most important thing. Your improvement is the most important thing, not where you sort of start from. But it's definitely focused on a lot of them. Yeah, they didn't realise that. Oh, okay, I didn't think I would be bad at that. Or I didn't think I thought I'd be better at certain things. And I know we kind of come onto it a bit with the HCP and this sort of 24/7 sort of like client-focused model. It's allowed a lot more of my clients to kind of see it as like, okay, well, yes, I can do some sessions, but a lot of this I can do myself. Like, I can improve my balance, I can do some ability work, I can set them things. And there's a purpose to why they're doing it now, because they want to retest in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So if I give clients previously, you need to work on mobility, they're like, yeah, all right, sorry. See you. I don't know, it's really important. And they're like, yeah, of course I'll do it. And then you see them next week, and they're like, did you do the... And they're like, nah, I didn't. Yeah, and I've been there, I've done the same. And you think, I don't really sort of think. But now they understand it. They see the importance. They want to do it for more reasons than just like the sessions, because they want to get onto 2.2. They want to become that better person. So it's been brilliant for that, really, to kind of... And the sessions become a little bit more sort of focused in what they're trying to do. Why you're doing single leg work, why you're doing this sort of thing. And you not that you don't, I always say that, and I always tell them anyway, but now they're starting to really kind of go, oh, I get it now. Like, it's kind of sinking in. Yeah, there's just
they've got something to relate it to, maybe.
Going on about how important single leg work is, and how you should always be doing this, and they're like, yeah, whatever. But now they're like, yeah, I get it. So it's been good.
Brilliant.
Awesome. I love that. It's unique client, because again, this is what we found, is that when we were doing assessments for the sake of assessments and there was no scores, people were just like, yeah, whatever. That was how we found it. But the moment you put a score on it, right, and they start to realise that was the game changer. That was realise, oh crap, I'm not as good as I thought I would be, and everyone wants to improve their score, right? And that is that was the thing. That was the thing that I found, was like, wow, okay, that was the Kickstarter for us. And it's like, you had the assessments, but it was the scoring that motivates them in a very simple way. Like, you see the breakdown, health, movement, strength, and cardio. That's the simplistic overview here. But when they see the scores go up, they go, wow, okay, I've improved. But it's still a way to go. So it still keeps them motivated to get.
Improvement is
definitely
there to see, rather than just lifting a bit more weight on the bar or something. Yeah, so it's been good.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think the score and the traffic light system when we implemented that has been big game changers for us as coaches. Sort of being able to really see straight away what the client needs and being able to feed that back easier. I would say. How much battery you got left on your phone, Simon? Because I don't want this to run out before we wrap up.
That's why I keep tapping my laptop, because if it goes off, the phone goes off. It's in my laptop. But the annoying thing is, it is still going down. Like, it's 5 now. But plugged in, I'm like, why are you going back?
It's intensive. Video's intensive.
It's 5%, and I don't know how long that's going to go, but
yeah.
We're all good. Hey, I've just got a couple of last questions then, before you disappear off the ether. Like, how have you found the traffic light system on the sheets help for you in terms of programming?
The way it's laid out, like when we learned on the weekend, the way it's laid out is that is the important. From the top is the most important, down to the bottom. So immediately, anything at the top, that's your priority, and if that's red, then you've got to fix that. So that's super easy. Obviously if it's yellow or well, it's more like yellow, isn't it, than orange on the amber, and that means that's okay, and therefore it's still a priority, but it's not as important as the red. So it has been really, really simple, I guess. Yeah, made it a lot more simple. And I guess for the clients,
nice.
I show clients they see it, they see the scoring sheet, so they can understand the importance as well based on what we're trying to improve on there as well. So. It just gives you you just know where to start, and again, it's all about knowing where to start rather than previously being like, well, I've got all this information. Shall we do that? Yeah, well, it's not right. We fix this.
Now what do I do?
Job done. Get rid of that red. Move on. Fix that. Move on. Go on. And that's as simple as you can get. You can't make it any simpler than that. Really.
That's what we tried for, and it was all to help us because we wanted more time. That's essentially what we try to do. That's what we try to figure it all out. So I'm glad that's the case and how you're seeing it, because that's certainly why we've done it. And now, this is why we wanted to interview Simon. It's more of a case of we know how it works in house, and we can share all we want as if it works in house. But the question is, does it work across with other people we're teaching it to? And that's a key thing. So, like I said, there's lots more to come. You said you haven't seen the half of it yet on the HCP yet. We're still building it out. But the point is, you're starting to see the glimpses of it, and already we're hoping it's made a difference to you, giving you more time back and making your life easier. Because why do we get into the whole training business in the first place? Is to train people, have fun, have more time, and just live our healthiest, best lives, right?
Where I'm going to be able to take it online, which is a massive part of it, rather than just doing it in person. So I can start to then sort of lay those foundations to when I build it online as well, which is going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think it's going to allow you now to expand your business a little bit, because you can now do
my goal is really
one-to-one
I've got in-person
online
clients
as well?
I've had for years, and newer clients, and a lot of it they don't need. They think they need me there every time, but they don't. They really don't. So the idea for me is if I can just try and move them more towards this hybrid model, more towards a bit of autonomy to themselves to do the workouts without me holding their hand, so they can kind of push themselves. And then I can then get more clients in the gym as well, who I then introduce the system to. So I really want to use the gym members to build my business and then build that model. So going online purely on Instagram and stuff, obviously it can work, but it can be harder. I've got people in the gym who I can just try and get onto the model. Then it gives me a good sort of base. So I can definitely The idea is I can kind of move people across, and in the long run, I start at 6 a.m. every morning. I generally finish at 8 p.m. still at night. I have gaps in my day where I go for a swim, but that's my life, and I don't want to be here. I don't want to be at work in the evenings. So if I can have a 6 till 2 personal training clients model and an online hybrid model where I have other income come from online, and then that will then slowly, that gap will get bigger, and I think more will be online with in person. Locally that need me. So the idea is just to shift the goalpost a little bit more towards online, and get my clients who are in person to be online, and to get new clients in the gym on that same model. It is, I love
all
Bath
about that
time.
family time, mate. Yeah.
They can't go anywhere at Bath time. They just stay in the bath, and that's it. I'm happy.
Good, isn't it? Yeah. Leave them in there.
Brilliant. Hey, Simon, here's one last question for you before your phone dies completely and you disappear into the ether. Like if someone's at home now, because we get lots of people asking about us and like questioning about what it is and what the program is, because it's such a new thing. Like if somebody's at home thinking, another experienced coach is at home thinking about this, about thinking about applying to do the HCP, what do you say to them?
In health and longevity, and for your clients, then the systems I think is definitely like a no-brainer, because that's what it's all about. And I think there's so much out there online about like growing your business 6 figures and stuff, which I think doesn't necessarily work. So I think the HCP model is a perfect sort of better option for so many coaches to be able to do it in person and online. So and obviously it's early days, but from what I've seen, there's the depth of what we've been just getting into and the way it's been laid out. It's going to be massive. It's going to be so important for so many people that I think if you really want to take to the next level, then you should definitely do it. Definitely.
Awesome. And it's true. Like, honestly, the idea that both me and Josh had in our heads is like we're trying to create something that we wish we had when we first started, and there was a step-by-step system that we could follow to do all this. And like I said, and the other big thing is lots of people teaching how to grow to 6 figures online right at the moment, because that's the buzzword. Or they're trying to tell you how to use AI to write your programs. Like I see a lot of that at the moment too. But there's no one really combining the both, understanding what's it like at ground zero training clients, and then tying it in together. They're all doing theory, and there's not people teaching it. Like not this is a business course. That's far from it. This is more like systems, like to help you to scale and grow the hybrid coaching business. But you need to know the business too to understand and empathise with your client, and that's the difference. We're trying to combine both. So you understand it's like a seamless effect for people to just plug and play system almost to go away. And if I'm being honest, I'm trying to coach up people so if they wanted to come and work with us as a strength manners coach, they can come into the business easily enough as well. So that's
that's make our lives easier, right, James?
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, like this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have that lifestyle as well. I'm only working 3 to 4 hours a day, and I can go off and play cricket, snowboard, and do all the fun stuff I like to do too. So it's all getting towards that. We all want that lifestyle, and I think we can do it whilst helping people, because we're all passionate about that.
If I can help
everyone in the community
with an amazing service, but only have to do 4 or 5 hours work, but still have that impact, then let's do it. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Exactly. Simon, thank you so much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Appreciate your feedback and sharing your thoughts about the HCP. Module 3 is out soon, mate. You'll be able to dive in very shortly.
Yeah, it's good. Much easier.
Yeah, because we've got School has got an app now.
Yeah, it's great.
Got an app. Good, isn't it? How are you finding it so far?
Notifications pop up. You can kind of see everything. You can use it. It's much easier. Everyone loves an app. It's so much easier to use. So yeah, and it is like it works really well. There's nothing wrong with the app at all. There's no sort of like bugs or anything. It seems to work perfectly. So happy day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's like a brand new app that doesn't seem to have any problems with it.
Yeah.
Touch wood. Don't put the kiss of death on it. Don't put the kiss of death on it yet. Hey, Simon, actually, two questions for you to finish off with, actually. Number one is, out of interest, like, this is the big thing we're trying to do with the videos, is I'm sure most of us have gone on to online coaching and training, online training, learning modules before, and we've been done by death by PowerPoint for like 2 hours, right? That is the biggest thing that we're trying to avoid this time. Out of interest, how are you actually finding the videos for the online sections?
They are engaging. So the way it's filmed is a lot more. It isn't death by PowerPoint. No, it's definitely not. It's it's definitely engaging. I mean, they're
Phew.
15 minutes long at the moment, or 10 minutes long. So they're nice bite-sized things with enough information to take away that you can kind of process, and then go back to. I think the good thing about it is you want to go back to certain things. To be able to like just have those sort of short videos, it's great. Whereas if you have like an hour or something, it's just it can kind of drag on. But no, whatever you're using, I think it looks really good, and really good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Expensive camera equipment.
Camera equipment and a really cool, badass editor. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sophia.
Completely. No.
It's all in the edit. Absolutely. All in the edit. James, before we do wrap up, mate, if people are wanting to join the HCP or find out more about it, you got to tell them where to go.
strengthmatters.com, baby, and click on the certification link. That's it. That's all you need to do.
There we go. strengthmatters.com, click on the certification. James, thank you very much. Simon, absolute pleasure, mate. We'll speak again in a second off air.
Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. Until next time.